Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lido Loca, here to tell you about all the food I ate on the Caribbean Princess. Alright guys, you know how we like to do it, like to take a picture of all of our food and then describe it for you. This is everything that I ate on the Caribbean Princess. Alright, here is the food. Now our first meal was at the buffet. We did not get a burger. Normally on a Carnival cruise line we would head toward the burger place on the Lido deck, either Guy's Burger or the Grill, but straight to the buffet for us and straight to my favorites. I've got some fruit, some spiced meats, some cheeses, and a whole slew of green olives. I'll tell you what, that blue cheese was delicious. There's a little baby Swiss hanging out. I'm not sure what kind of meat that was. It was like a fatty, like copacocha or something. I don't know. I don't know what kind of meat it was, but the cantaloupe was right. It was right and ripe. Always a good sign when the fruit is ripe. Good first meal. And I guess that was the appetizer, because as I look at this next one, some entree items that I tried. We've got a ham and cheese grilled sandwich there, pasta with mushrooms. I think that was another, there might have been a salami sandwich, some sliced turkey, and then a little bit of a sweet there. They have their own branded kind of cream horn, which is one of my favorite desserts. So that was lunch. Of course, we went through the muster drill. We got a room unpacked, and then we headed to the island dining room, to the MDR. And it was a real classic meal for me. Started off with the shrimp cocktail. I used to work at a fine dining restaurant, and man, we would do a really nice presentation of shrimp cocktail. I know for the main dining room where they have to serve a lot of them, there's not much that you could do with it. But it seems like on even like Carnival, those cruise lines, it's just some shrimp with some cocktail sauce dolloped on it. So you can't even see the shrimp here, but it was good. Then moved on to a classic Caesar salad, and had beef for the first night. That's right, a little prime rib. We've got some horseradish on the side. It wasn't like that open your nose up horseradish, which I like, but it was good. Corn on the cob and a loaded baked potato. Sans cheese. Does it still count as a loaded baked potato with no cheese? Anyways, it was good. It had bacon, chives, butter, and sour cream. And I took a risk with dessert. I should have got something that I knew, but this was a milky chocolate hazelnut souffle with an amaretto sauvignon. I don't know what that is, some French deal. But the thing about the souffle, it was just really a weird texture, and then the sauce on top. It was good. If you like souffles, I'm sure it was delicious, but I should have went like creme brulee or something. And then, of course, we finished off the night with a little late night pizza. This is our first trip to Slice. I was pretty happy with the pizza. It was a foldable, oily kind of New York style pizza. Better than what I had on the Carnival Paradise, but probably not as good as what I had on the Fantasy and on the Liberty. I just like the pizza on the Carnival ships, but this was good, especially in a pinch. Good to fold it over and have some nice greasy pizza. I should have been drinking a beer with it, but I wasn't. Then moved to the next morning, back to the buffet. A whole mishmash of stuff here. Now, my favorite meat, I like some salami or some prosciutto. Again, they had this meat, and somebody out there helped me this might have been a little salam, but it was more, yeah, I think this is salami. But it was good. Look how red that watermelon was. Super ripe, delicious. Put some salt on that. I was happy. I got a little potato, tried their bacon. Bacon was crispy. Enjoyed that bacon more than I did on other cruises. A little provolone. And then I had some smoked whitefish. There was a lot of kind of alternate culture type foods. There was smoked foods and just a variety. So it was a pretty well-rounded breakfast buffet. And we did a little bit of a double lunch. We didn't necessarily eat a double lunch, but fascinated by the idea that they turned the main steakhouse into a British pub, so we wanted to check that out. They had about 5 items, I think, on the menu, including fish and chips, shrimp and chips, Scotch egg, and maybe only 4 entrees and a dessert. Here I got the fish and chips with fries, and that's mashed peas there and tartar sauce. And then we had delivered to the table a Scotch egg, which I don't like eggs, but we wanted to try it. So that's like a little chutney there on the side, hard-boiled eggs surrounded by sausage. Everything's breaded and deep fried. Jenny really enjoyed it. I thought it looked cool, but I did not. Again, I tried the sausage, and the sausage on its own wasn't doing it for me. Then the dessert at lunch was a cherry in sherry dessert topped with whipped cream and almond. It was delicious. I don't remember the official name of that dessert, but so tasty. So on the tail end of the British pub, I knew that there were also, and I didn't know they were going to do this later on in the week, but the cool thing about the Caribbean Princess is they try to utilize as much space as possible, and so there's two upcharge restaurants in the evening, Planks and Steamers, where you pay $12 per person to get either seafood or barbecue. They use their buffet lines there to do specialty buffets. So on the Steamer side, they had a ramen bar, and on the Plank side, they had a Tex-Mex bar. And so we decided, I thought it was only going to be the same day as the British pub, so that's where the two lunches came from. But we went and we just did kind of make your own ramen. I took every bit of protein that they had and used a little chicken broth. And so there's beef in there, there's a fish ball, shrimp, chicken, I think there's some sort of pork, and of course on top of the noodles and a beef broth. It was delicious. And then we grabbed a little sampler of desserts. So you got a little pecan dessert there, eclair, fruit tort, and I believe that's just angel food cake with a little bit of whipped cream. I don't remember any of those being bad. Kind of making me hungry now. Then this dish is my tea time dish. We did tea time twice. We did it on the second day, and I think we might have done it on the fourth day. Really nice. It was white glove service. I don't think the scone had made it to my plate, or that could be the scone in the middle. I don't remember them being that round. But little finger sandwiches. I think that's a veggie sandwich and a little ham sandwich. Carrot cake. I'm going to say that's the scone. They brought the scones hot and served them with jam and whipped cream. It was good. Let me just say that. It was good. I'm looking at this now going, oh, I could go for those hot scones. This is an interesting dish. On formal night, before formal night, they sent a little sheet around and said, you get some little appetizers. You can pick 4, and they'll send them to your room. And so these things are tiny. They're probably like the size of my thumbnail. 2 of them was smoked salmon on a little piece of bread. You have smoked shrimp on bread, and then that is salami surrounding some sort of creamy cheese, and then a little caviar in the middle. But these things were tiny, but delicious nonetheless, and it was nice to have them delivered while we were getting ready for dinner, formal night. Now, we've talked about it a little bit. I don't feel like we brought enough dressy clothes. I didn't bring my jacket. And so we opted to hit one of the for-pay restaurants the night of the first formal night. And this is Steamers. So they start you out with some bread and a couple spreads there. It's like a crab spread, and just a real nice way to get you going. And then I went back to the Caesar salad. They offered me some fresh, well, I don't know if they're fresh, but they offered me some anchovy for the top. And I was like, yes, please, salty fish, I'm down. So a little anchovy on top of the Caesar salad. And then we did a steamer. So this is a clam steamer. All the shells in there have clam, smoked sausage, corn on the cob, red potatoes, and there was a little bit of an upcharge. I believe it was $10 each for the lobster and crab leg. I feel like maybe it's more than $10 each. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is. I would say $10 to $15. I don't think it was 20. But split crab legs and a lobster tail on top of the steamer. I was happy. I was a happy camper. Very delicious. And the dessert that night, super cool. Deconstructed strawberry shortcake, big old sugary biscuit, the nice strawberry mix, and what seemed like fresh whipped cream with some mint. This was one of my favorite desserts of the cruise. Oh, guess what? It's breakfast again, and I'm eating fruit and salami and a little smoked Gouda cheese. Again, the fruit was super fresh, super ripe. So eating some cantaloupe and watermelon, salting that up. So good. And this was the day that we went to Grand Cayman. It was so good we didn't really take a picture of the beef patty, but there was some photographic evidence of that little tiny Tortuga rum cake that we ate, and I needed an excuse to throw a beautiful picture of Jenny's hands in this video. So this is the little bitty Tortuga rum cake. It was delicious. The beef patty, let me just construct it for you. I don't know what it was. It was beef inside of some sort of pastry, and it was delicious. Then we were back on the ship for a little dinner. This was about 3 o'clock on Grand Cayman Day. Hit the salad bar. I know I'm not the most healthy eater, but I do try to mix in some greens, some vegetables, so I don't completely wreck myself with crazy food. But they had sandwiches and salad bar, and so this, I don't know what kind of sandwich I had, probably ham again, or maybe roast beef. And then salad for me is, of course, lettuce and green olives anytime I can get them. Tried to load up the tomatoes, and I didn't go crazy on the dressing, but that's probably like a ranch dressing. And then a little sweet tooth action, carrot cake. I love carrot cake. I think what happens is things that aren't used for tea time or used tea time the day before, or ones they make too much, end up on the buffet. This is very reminiscent of the carrot cake we had the day before. Once again, we went to the main dining room for dinner. This was like a little a spicy chicken nugget. I can't remember what the sauce was for an appetizer. That was pretty good. And then surf and turf for dinner. I'm back to beef again. This was a filet, shrimp, little potato, carrot, asparagus. And that night we had a function, so no dessert for us, and really no late night snack. So yeah, I'm surprised we didn't hit pizza that night, but the dinner must have been pretty filling. I think we ended up in the casino. The next day was the 4th day, where we were in Mahogany Bay. And Mahogany Bay is in Roatan, Honduras. Roatan, Jenny says. And I started the day off like I do so often with some fruit. And I think this might be the first bagel I made, but it's a bagel with vegetable cream cheese, smoked salmon, pretty ripe tomatoes, and capers. Let me tell you what, it was delicious. And I guess to get my energy up before we went to Roatan, this was about noon. We hit the Lido deck, hit Slice, and got a slice of their pepperoni pizza. And they have this kind of Sicilian style, or they may have called it a stromboli, but basically it was a dough with a big old meatball on it and some cheese. It was okay. I wasn't running back for it, but the pizza was good. In addition to the pizza, we did go to the burger joint, the Salty Dog, and tried the street taco, which was a chicken taco. Not bad. It wasn't Blue Iguana. That's the only other thing I have to compare it to. Don't get mad, people that love Princess. Don't get too happy, people that love Carnival. But yeah, the taco was okay. Wasn't running back to that either. And then so we went to Roatan and did that. When I came back from the ship, it was about 4 o'clock. I know we were going to eat dinner, but we stopped at the International Cafe for a little snack. And the cool thing about the International Cafe is they had a variety of salads. This was a watermelon salad. I think that's all that was in it. It looks like watermelon and some sort of parsley. It was good. And I had tried their sandwiches are well regarded. This sandwich could have been better if the tomatoes would have performed. I believe this was just a toasted cheese sandwich, some sort of spread on the top, but I couldn't get past the fact that they gave me very unripe tomatoes. So what could have been delish was just a nah. And then also a little shrimp salad from the International Cafe. Cold shrimp salad, but shrimp. It was delicious. And what goes better with a cold shrimp salad than some chocolat? This was called the Pistachio Opera, I think. Got a pistachio crust, some sort of flanny-like topping, and paired that up with a mousse, chocolate mousse. Very good. So for dinner that night, we went back to the MDR really with no great expectations. We had a great dinner the previous night at Steamer's, and I don't think anything jumped off the menu for us, but I tell you what, we were pleasantly surprised. My appetizer that night was a goat cheese souffle. It's hard for me to describe the flavors. I know goat cheese is one of those deals, you either love it or you hate it. I loved it that night. Very good. And man, this dish really knocked my socks off. It could have been the dish of the cruise for me. This was broiled scallops and pork belly with a little pea puree, and I think it was sitting on a pile of like potatoes. But man, the pork belly was so good. And then finally I made the responsible dessert decision and got a creme brulee. No more crazy souffles or flourless cakes or whatever. Creme brulee was on point. Alright, so the next day we were in Belize. We actually slept in a little bit. This shot is from about 10 a.m. I think Jenny was still in the cabin. I just went and grabbed a bagel, lox, cream cheese, tomato, a pile of grapes, and some cantaloupe. And then I don't know if the next one's lunch, but it was 1:20, and it's more of the same. I think the prosciutto finally made an appearance. Got a little prosciutto, cantaloupe. I believe that was just some cubed cheese, maybe a cubed Swiss, and some focaccia bread. And then on the side, I had some traditional food. This chicken, looking at it now, I don't remember it being that good, and it doesn't look that good. But a couple chicken legs, mashed potatoes and gravy, and corn on the cob. You can't just eat cheese the whole cruise, so some traditional food there. And then we were able to hit tea time. This again, we stayed on the ship the day that everybody jumped off at Belize, and so we were in super chill mode. Made our way to tea time. A couple different sandwiches this time. Of course, we got that jam and cream cheese with the hot scone and a couple little cookies there. Tea time's really a great experience on the Caribbean Princess. Alright, so for dinner that night, we went to the other specialty restaurant called Plank's Barbecue Joint. It's a upcharge, $12 per person. And the theme of the restaurant is that you pick your proteins and they serve it to you on a platter. Call it a plank. I started out with just a wedge salad, not a traditional wedge. Traditionally, you get blue cheese on your wedge, but this was a wedge salad with a little shredded cheese, ranch dressing, and cornbread croutons. Not bad. And then the waiter there said to just pick out our selections, and they would load up one big plank. So that's what they did. All kinds of stuff there. Coleslaw in those pots. I believe we had a bean side. And the proteins, we had a little brisket and sausage, a couple chicken legs, barbecue ribs. There's some potatoes and Texas toast. Even a barbecue meatball. So quite a bit of different protein selections. It was all good. I really got to be in the mood for barbecue. I don't think I necessarily was this night, but we wanted to try the planks. And so yeah, probably if I was jonesing for barbecue, it would have been better, but it wasn't bad. And the dessert, of course, Jenny's the dessert one of us, but I know she loved this one. This was like a chocolate brownie with a chocolate covered marshmallow top and the whipped cream. I think some candied pecans up top. Really good. So we'll move on to the next day when we went to Cozumel. Again, Jenny wasn't feeling good the morning of Cozumel, so I had breakfast on my own, and I didn't stray too far from the normal plan. Little lox and bagels, cream cheese, watermelon, and salami. And I had to get a portion of bacon, and nothing goes better with some savory bacon than a sweet Danish. Yeah, so when I got back from Cozumel, we headed to the Lido deck and wanted to try some things from Slice and maybe Salty Dog. This was avocado toast from Slice. Really good. It was avocado spread over like a brioche bun. I believe there's a little bit of goat and blue cheese there with some pine nuts. It was good. I would have that again. Of course, we got a couple classic slices of pepperoni, and we grabbed a hot dog from Salty Dog. All of it was really good, not bad for Lido food at all. And then about 8 o'clock that night, we ended up at the buffet. I'm not sure what we were really into, but it was back to the salad bar. Got a little cubed cantaloupe there. I don't know if they were breaking it down. Hit or miss on the tomatoes. You see that one there is really kind of not ripe, but the ones I had that were ripe were good. And then they had all these little pots, so it was like they had little dishes and pots. So I've got a little like single serving of spinach and artichoke dip there. In that pot was like a braised beef, got some chicken and a roll. So kind of an eclectic mix of buffet food that night. And this is the dessert plate that Jenny and I split. I think I just grabbed one of every cake they had and a couple chocolate cookies. Nothing mind-blowing there. There was some gold-covered food in that mix, but I don't know. I was take it or leave it. The fruit tort was okay. And then our last day was a sea day. We're getting to July the 6th. Our cruise, we disembarked on the 7th. So this is the breakfast of the sea day. I knew that my access to unlimited lox and bagels were going away. So I went to the well one more time. little grapes, cantaloupe, lox and bagels. And then, you know, the Danish didn't really do it for me the day before. I said, let me pair bacon with a chocolate donut. Now, this was the winning combination. Nothing better than bacon and a chocolate donut. All right, for lunch on our sea day, we hit the MDR, started out with a little basket of rolls. This was a beef carpaccio. I don't remember what the topping was. It does not look visually appealing, but it was pretty tasty. But yeah, a weird texture, a weird color, but it tasted good. Beef carpaccio with some crazy topping. And then I went with a little London broil and vegetables. Not bad. It was pretty cool to have lunch in the MDR, just to sit down and you know, have that dining experience one more time. And then I was back with another souffle type flourless cake. It wasn't bad, just a little ice cream and cake. Now, we didn't hit tea time on the last sea day, but toward the end of the day, after tea time was over, all the tea time stuff made it to the buffet. And so this is about 5 o'clock, and I've got a plate of scones here with the jam and cream cheese. You can tell what I get obsessed about. So a lot of pictures of smoked salmon and scones everywhere. Rounding it out with, of course, a little meat, fruit, and cheese. And then one thing we tried on the night of the sea day was the Ernesto Burger. This is their upcharge burger, $5 at the Salty Dog. And this is their award-winning burger. So the beef there is a mix of kind of high-end beef ribeye. They've got all kinds of stuff going on in the side. They got some kimchi and a couple kinds of cheeses. It was pretty good. I don't know that I would pay the $5 again. It didn't blow my mind, you know, beyond, you know, just a regular burger, but it was fun to try. And then that night, I think it was one of those nights that we got caught up in the casino, so we didn't really do an official dinner. We had that burger about 5 o'clock, and we finished the trip up about midnight in the at the International Cafe, where we snagged some ham and cheese croissants, which were delicious. Those were recommended to us. And yeah, that was the last meal that we had on the Caribbean Princess. All right, guys, that's it. That's everything I ate on the Caribbean Princess. What did you like? What did you not like? Leave a comment below. If you're new here and you like this kind of video, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you got anything out of it, a little entertainment, a little education, give it a thumbs up. Come join us on Facebook at the Lido Loca Cruising Community. Again, my name's Tony with Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.